games to San Diego. The Dodgers led the Padres by 9 games in the NL West in mid-July. That league has shrunk to 4.5. The Dodgers closed out July 11-13, their first losing month since April of 2018. The first NFL preseason game is today. The Chicago Bears and Houston Texans meet up in the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. Former USC star Caleb Williams, the Bears starting quarterback, will not be in the lineup. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us for a book party celebrating The Covenant with Black America 20 years later. Almost 2 decades ago, the Covenant book, compiled and edited by Tavis Smiley, climbed to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list and stayed there for weeks. The first book by a Black-owned publisher to achieve such a feat. The urgency of the issues that matter most to Black fellow citizens has only intensified, especially in this critical election year. On Wednesday evening, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m., come meet Tavis Smiley alongside Covenant contributors including Cornel West, Connie Rice, Mark Ridley Thomas, Elisa Orduna, Tyrone Howard, and Melina Abdullah as they sign copies of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later. You can purchase your books on site and get them autographed. That's Wednesday evening, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. in the city of Los Angeles. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your Black.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First Black on Talk Radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted Black and Brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
First things first. Good morning, good people. As a matter of fact, good morning, great people. Thank you so much for tapping in. This is KBLA Talk 1580, and you've landed in the right spot this morning. First things first with Dominique DiPrima. And if you haven't picked up on it so far, no, I am not Dominique DiPrima. I am Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, and I have the pleasure and the honor of sitting in for Dominique DiPrima. I will be your guest host for today, helping to run and steer the ship. But yeah, first things first. And I say first things first. What are the things that you do first? What's first up for you in the morning? What is the first? For me, first things first, giving honor to God. Giving honor to God, who is obviously the head of my life, the author, the finisher. So giving it up to God, first things first, out of the gate. Listen, let's talk a little bit about the agenda this morning. Wonderful lineup this morning. First up, I am met in studio with Dr. Erica Holmes, a wonderful, and I don't know if I want to call her a guest. When you make yourself at home in a place, you no longer feel like a guest. So joining with me in this first hour from 6 to 7 a.m., Dr. Erica Holmes, and we're going to break down some wonderful things with you. And then for the remainder of the second and third hour, we're going to be meeting and talking and parsing out, processing through a wonderful story of, I don't know, it's reconciliation, it's justice, it's in store for you. How about that? We'll kind of unpack that a little bit more as we approach the 7 o'clock hour. But for now, first things first, Erica Holmes is in studio with me this morning. Good morning, Erica.
Good morning, Dr.
Listen,
Sunshine.
let me talk a little bit about you. There is so much to say about Erica Holmes. So Erica is also a psychologist, a psychotherapist, and if I didn't mention it, so am I. So I love sitting down with people to talk in the therapeutic space, the mental health space, that wheelhouse there. It's so important, particularly in the climate that we are in. But Erica is a clinical psychologist who serves as the associate program chair and the director of the psychological trauma studies specialization in the master's in psychology program at Antioch University here in Los Angeles. She's also the executive director of Champion Counseling Center at Faithful Central Baptist, a Bible church, Bible church, and the founder of Homes.
Yes.
HOMM, Home.
HOMMS. Helping others move mountains.
Helping others move mountains. And we are going to help some folks move mountains this morning.
That's right.
Which is a consulting service that she offers as well too. Your areas of inquiry and more than 150 presentations focus on relationships and coupling and insight and empowerment, psychological trauma, psychotherapy with African American clients. Let's get it, because here at KBLA, we don't black down. Black on black on black on black, unapologetically progressive. And this is what I want to stress for us right at the top of the hour. You also have an emphasis and specialization in the integration of Christianity and psychology. I really want to highlight and hone in on that, but I don't want to leave out this piece. Erica is also the author of not one, but 4 books. So, look it up, Google, Amazon, it's out there.
Yes.
But one of which is an upcoming textbook. And I find that particularly impressive because textbooks, just by nature of what they are, teach, educate, enlighten, and I love enlightenment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So welcome to First Things First with Dominique DiPrima.
Thank you so much for having me on again. As you said, I don't feel like a guest any longer. I love being here, love talking to the folks and helping to give people a little bit of information, a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of insight to make their lives better. So thanks for having me here.
Yeah, and I love it a little bit. We only have an hour, so we're sprinkling some things on. And Erica, you've been on several of the shows on this particular platform, so you are home. You've sat down with me on my show, and I should say I am also the host of the Dr. Sunshine Show, which airs every Sunday morning from 8 to 9. So make sure you come back and tune in as you're preparing for your Sunday morning as well. But I know you've been on other platforms, Dr. Jashana Johnson's, and Let's Get Intimate here with Dominique DiPrima. So you know your way around the house.
Yes.
You know your way around the house. Okay, so the topic, integrating Christianity and psychology. That this hits home for me. My dissertation research was on the integration of psychotherapy and spirituality, specifically in the Black church. So we have a lot in common. At the time that I was doing the dissertation research, which was around 2014, at that time, therapy was not necessarily fully and wholly embraced in the church, the Black church specifically, but there was an uptick leaning towards acceptance. Where do you see that sitting today?
I think that it is becoming more and more a part of the conversation in the church. I think that more pastors are becoming educated. I also think that more pastors are willing to disclose, because many pastors have sought therapy because of the nature of their work or their histories or their trauma. And so now they're more willing to disclose from the pulpit, many coming from couples therapy. So I do see that there is more of an acceptance and conversation, again, as more pastors become educated and honest, and their disclosures, their preachings help to destigmatize the idea of that for the congregation.
You know, I think that if pastors, and not just pastors, but anyone in ministry, so clergy and others working in ministry, I think that if we can be more transparent from whether it be the pulpit or wherever the speaking space is, where however you reach out to your masses, if we can be more transparent about our humanness, the human side of us, the flawed pieces of us, because obviously humans are flawed people, and not focus so much on the perfection of Christ, the place where we're all striving to be, then I think the pulpit itself can be therapeutic, just in that, just in the idea that you can be flawed and still be Christian, God-led, if you will. So let me ask you this question: Can therapy work together, and can therapy work harmoniously with people and their mental health and well-being, and not conflict with one another?
Therapy and faith?
Therapy and faith.
Most definitely they can. And as you just mentioned, you know, that transparency can be healing. It could also be, and a part of that healing is freedom. So it could free people from bondages of the things that they've been taught, or we've been taught. If we're talking about Black folks, we can't leave out our history. And so we sometimes are unable to extrapolate those things that are part of our history that were damaging, that we adapted to in order to survive. We've kind of integrated them into who we are and talk about them as if they're part of our culture. When they're not part of our culture, they're part of an adaptation. So this idea of not being weak, of needing to be strong, of needing to bear burdens, and all of that have been culturalized. Like, that's just Black people. No, that's Black people in survival mode. So, you know, not needing to do that and talking about our fallibility and talking about our weaknesses, that's freeing for folks. And faith and psychotherapy, seeking wise counsel. Jesus said he came to heal the broken, right? He said he came
things first.
Right. He came to heal the brokenhearted. Brokenheartedness is a physical condition, an emotional condition. Just like he, in that same passage, he says, I came to heal the blind, to set the captives free. He did all of that tangibly, not just spiritual freedom and captivity, not just spiritual blindness, but he did that physically. So he said that is what he came for. So he's not just concerned about our physical health. He's concerned about our physical, our spiritual, and our emotional health, that brokenheartedness that he came to heal.
I love that we're folding the actual person of Jesus into the conversation, because if we really dig into the word, we will find that though there were not labels at that time, mental health, anxiety, depression, there are many of our favorite people who managed mental health issues in the Bible, and we could talk about it. We plan to talk about it. So first things first, this morning we're talking Christianity, spirituality, faith, and therapy, mental health.
Yes.
So you got roll with me. Again, I'm Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford. I'm sitting in for Dominique DiPrima, and this, my friends, is First Things First. Stay with me.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Tavis is like George and Wheezy. He's moving on up. Last year, Tavis was number 45 on the Talkers magazine list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. Wait for it. Wait for it. The 2024 list was recently released, and Tavis has jumped to number 33 on the list of the nation's most important talkers, making him the highest-ranked African-American on the coveted roster. Congratulations to Tavis Smiley from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580. We've got you black.
We're thrilled to announce that the Dear Future Wifey podcast is now available on the Urban One Podcast Network. This show, hosted by Latiris R. Whitfield, explores the journey of discovering and rediscovering love and relationships. With over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, Dear Future Wifey has become a prototype for discussions about love and relationships. Learn how to rediscover love, heal, and have faith in relationships. Go to urbanonepodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
We must understand the politics of our community, and we must know what part politics play in our lives.
Questions about black voters, their disengagement, lack of information, and support or lack thereof for Democratic candidates have once again taken center stage as Democrats, Republicans, and independent candidates compete for this critical voting bloc. Will black voters abandon Democrats in this election, move historic numbers of votes toward the Republican nominee, or will they continue a decades-long trend of overperforming for Democratic candidates up and down the ballot? The stakes have never been higher for Black America. Tune in to KBLA's new show, The Black Pack, hosted by veteran political strategist Adrian Shropshire, every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. for a breakdown of the issues, rhetoric, polling, and more this election year. It's The Black Pack with Adrian Shropshire, Fridays from 4 to 6 p.m. exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580. Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Oh, na, 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 na. Oh, na, 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 na. Good vibration, yeah. That's the positive vibes and we creating, yes. The sounds that make you feel right, we keep it blazing, yeah.
Hey, welcome forward. Welcome forward. And good morning to you all. You are tapped into First Things First with Dominique DiPrima. I am sitting in for Dominique this morning as her guest host. I am Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, and it's amazing. It's a pleasure to be here. Miles, who are we listening to?
This Anderson Paak Chronics. It's called Eternal Light.
How come I don't know this?
Sleep. What you sleep? You gotta wake
me
Doc.
up. It's First Things First. Can you wake me up? I love the vibe.
Yes, ma'am. I'll keep it going all day. I got you.
Miles, he's gonna keep us rolling this morning. I appreciate you, Miles. Lowe is in the building, but also in studio with me, Dr. Erica Holmes, who is my fellow clinical psychologist, and we are breaking down right now Christianity and or faith and therapy, Christianity and mental health, the space between them. They can, in fact, both coexist. We agree. We definitely agree on that fact. So, Dr. Holmes, you are you also in practice? I know that you are a director. You're the executive director. So, are you now removed from the client, or are you still seeing clients in the individual space?
So I still see clients. I think that will always, as long as I'm able, be a part of my career. So I still see clients. I it's a smaller private practice than it was when I started.
Oh yeah, because you have a lot going on.
Exactly.
Right now.
There's a lot going on. But yeah, I still do have a caseload. So I see clients.
So here's my question for you. How do you not navigate let me ask you before I ask that question, how important is it for you to be sensitive to your clients' religious beliefs when you're like in therapy, in the therapy session, in that space?
It's essential.
It is essential.
Yeah, it is essential.
It is foundational.
Exactly.
Right? It amazes me when I speak to therapists who feel otherwise.
There's no way that I could work with a client and not integrate their spiritual beliefs. It colors their entire worldview. And truth be told, it's unethical for me not to integrate, not to understand, not to explore how their spiritual beliefs are impacting the way that they see whatever it is they're going through, and the answer to that. It's unethical.
It is unethical. And whether we agree with every foundational religious or spiritual principle, whether or not we agree, if you have a principle, if you have a foundation that you live by, then everything is going to sit on top of that. Now, let me ask you this question. We have listeners right now. We also have people who we meet in the session who may have a differing spiritual foundation. How do you manage that?
I don't go into my sessions believing that my clients and I are starting at the same place, or will end at the same place anyway.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Right? So their beliefs are their beliefs, and I disagree with my clients on a lot of things. However, I start from the place that my clients are the experts of their lives.
I love it.
Right? They're the expert on their life, and I'm helping them to facilitate exploration of how the things that they've historically done are working for them now, and to help them to come up with new solutions for their lives. So I don't have the right answer for anyone. My belief is my belief. And if the way that I live, the way that I interact with them, the things that they see inspire them to want to know something different than what they do, then that's God working.
And for me, to be honest, for me, when I'm sitting with clients, the idea, the topic, the approach to spirituality and religion comes into play when the client ushers it in.
Right.
For me.
Right.
And obviously it's there in all of us. If those are the principles that we live by, it's there.
Right.
But I don't overtly bring it into the session until after the client does. So to your point, they are the experts, and I am following and undergirding alongside that. So along these same lines, what happens, Dr. Holmes, when you see that a person's I don't know, religious beliefs are the thing that has them bound. The religious belief, because sometimes it can be a little dogmatic, is the reason why they are in therapy, needing to unweave certain spiritual webs, so to speak. What happens there?
Right. So just like with any other area of their lives, I explore with them how open are they to processing, exploring, going deeper in their beliefs. So I'll ask them, have you explored this? Where did you hear this? Where did you learn this? Have you read this for yourself? How do you understand it? And quite often I'll explore with them whether whatever spiritual leader they're under, is that's what they say. Because sometimes people will have their own interpretation and they'll be sitting under a spiritual covering, and that's not even what the spiritual covering that they are under, what they believe. So so I'll explore with them where did they learn it. I'll ask them how open are they to unpacking that, to talking about it, to looking at it. And even if they're like, no, this is just what I believe, I'll always say, okay, well, we'll put a pin in that, and we might have to come back to that at some point. So yeah.
You know, I like the openness. And I have found the openness to be effective. Here's the sad thing. I have spoken to clients who were hesitant to even engage in session with me when they learned that I am a co-pastor or that I offer Christian counseling, because of a lot of stereotypes as it relates to being Christian and things of that sort, and the boundaries sometimes that can come around it. So I can think of a time, and I'm gonna ask you if you can think of a challenging time as it relates to this, where I had a woman, because she was being physically abused inside of her marriage, obviously emotionally and psychologically abused, because that comes with physical abuse, right? Lots of abuse, wanting to leave the marriage, but also bound to thou shalt not divorce. And so obviously that's a difficult thing when your physical safety and your mental and even spiritual well-being is at play. Can you think of an example or a time when religion popped into the therapy session and became a complicated, issue to unweave?
And similar to you, I've had that several times. I can think of one in particular. And one thing that I did want to mention was the caveat is I don't offer Christian counseling, right? So I'll say that I'm a counselor who's Christian, but I don't offer Christian counseling. So, and the difference in that is any Bible that's brought in is brought in by the client.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Not by me.
Same.
Right. So when I've had a client who used the Bible, and I'll just say in general, whether it's divorce and there's some abuse or something happening, going on, or other decisions that they want to make, and they use the Bible to justify it, a passage in the Bible to justify that, I will ask the client if there are other examples that they found in the Bible where they are given permission to do that thing.
You know, I think that is an excellent way to tee that off, to parse it, and as you say, to process through it. So we're gonna just take a pause right here. But when we come forward, I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to move into navigating and managing big life transitions.
Okay.
So let's do that. Hang with me. You're listening to First Things First with Dominique DiPrima. More when we come forward.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from your source for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network. The Federal Reserve is leaving interest rates unchanged. The Fed held its July meeting on Wednesday and said in a statement that a reduction in our policy rate could be on the table as soon as the next meeting in September. Vice President Kamala Harris says Americans deserve better after Donald Trump raised doubts about her racial identity in an interview with the National Association of Black Journalists. He said Harris was always of Indian heritage, then later became a black person. Host nation France has closed the gap in the medal count standings at the Paris Olympics. The U.S. added 4 more medals on Wednesday and continues to sit atop the leaderboard with 30 medals. That total includes 5 gold, 13 silver, and 12 bronze. France is now just 4 behind with 26 total medals. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Island on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Me and the kids were always messaging. They LOL'd, I ROFL'd, but then I changed phone and the bubbles went green. But where there's a fill, there's a way. And I found a way to share what's in here. I'm tapping my heart.
WhatsApp, the place to safely send messages between different devices. Message privately with everyone.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The U.S. men's Olympic basketball team had a dominant performance against South Sudan. They won by 17. 18 points off the bench for Bam Adebayo. LeBron had 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 of Team USA's 29 assists. The win moves Team USA into the quarterfinals on Saturday. They'll play Puerto Rico. The U.S. women's basketball team is back in action today. They take on Belgium, 11:15 a.m. tip-off on the USA Network. Dodgers fans are getting a little nervous after losing back-to-back games to San Diego. The Dodgers led the Padres by 9 games in the NL West in mid-July. That league has shrunk to 4.5. The Dodgers closed out July 11-13, their first losing month since April of 2018. The first NFL preseason game is today. The Chicago Bears and Houston Texans meet up in the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. Former USC star Caleb Williams, the Bears starting quarterback, will not be in the lineup. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada. Member FDIC.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
Recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I dedicate this song to recession, depression, and unemployment. This song's for you.
Today's a new day, but there is no sunshine. Nothing but clouds and it's dark. joy that you promised me. Tell me it's alright.
Sing, Erica. Dr. Holmes.
A power that I can't explain.
Uh-huh.
Fell from heaven like a shower down.
When I think how much better I'm gonna be when this is over,
I smile.
And you know what? Smiling is a wonderful thing to do first thing in the morning. You know, it's smiling, the act of smiling, the action of smiling. And it's even better when you're showing teeth. It's a big thing. It's good for mental health and positive preparation.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome forward. Welcome forward. You're listening to First Things First with Dominique DiPrima. I am your host today, Dr. Sunshine Crawford, and I am in studio with Dr. Erica Holmes, and we're having a wonderful time. We're talking about wonderful things. We're getting ready to move into a discussion about big life transitions. But before we make that transition, I would like to move over to the phone lines and hear what saith Willie from Palmdale. Good morning, Willie from Palmdale. Welcome to First Things First.
Good morning, Dr. Sunshine.
Hi there.
I just want to ask the question about what is colonized therapy?
Colonized therapy. Are you familiar with colonized therapy?
So I'm familiar with a term that's used to describe therapy that's done from a Eurocentric or westernized perspective that doesn't really take into account culture or history.
That would make sense.
Yes.
Colonized. Is that the framework that you are referring to, Willie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So colonized, you're meaning, let me come back to you, Erica, meaning we are not taking into consideration African American culture.
Exactly.
So your question is, what do we think about therapy that does not include African American history and culture?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I am an African American person. And Dr. Holmes chuckles. I'm going to allow you to answer that question. I have a definite thought.
So what I would say is, if you find yourself in need of support and help and assistance, one of the first things that you should ask is, how will you address my history as a Black/African American person in our work together? If they stumble, if they hem and haw, if they don't have an answer for that, then you keep looking. I say that finding a therapist is not a one-stop shop.
That's true.
You continue until you find the person who's connected to you, because it's so important to, when you're working with someone of a background such as those that we have in the African American community, that you can't do therapy within a silo. So therapy can't be done as an individualistic endeavor, meaning that when you work from an integrated or an African-centered kind of perspective, taking our history into account, we also include context and community. So healing is not done in a silo. And when we work from that perspective, we realize that we're not the sole agent of change, meaning that we don't believe that we are the masters of your fate, that we are the drivers of your ship. And part of what we try to do is to get you reconnected to those natural healing spaces within your community, such as your, spiritual home or faith-based organization, or your family, healthy family, or your community, to really get you supported in ways that go beyond the 50 minutes that you spend with us. So in short, what I would say is ask the question, how will my cultural history be integrated into our work together? And if they can't answer that question, then they're not the therapist for you.
Particularly if that is an important topic for you. So Willie, just to add on to the discussion and the conversation here, it is imperative, I think, that we take into account that here in this particular country, there is a generational trauma that we all live with. here in this country, African American people. And if we do enough digging, which is not what you would do in an individual therapy session, obviously, we can trace all of our trauma back to the plantation where it was birthed. So I think it's very difficult to totally ignore African American history, Black history, as it relates to trauma and how it hits us in our homes, in our communities, in our individual lives. So I'm hoping that you got a fleshed out answer. How do you feel about that?
Yes. Understood. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for tapping in. We appreciate you. Okay, so Erica, Dr. Holmes. Can I call you Dr. Erica, Dr. Holmes?
Dr. Erica is great.
Dr. Erica. Let's transition a little bit in the context of politics. Politics is a big deal right now. I can see the comments that are coming in on YouTube, and this conversation is apparently a wonderful break from the presidential election and politics in general. But I don't know if I want to take so big of a break or a step back from it.
Yes.
There is a lot of stress and anxiety that is attached to just being in this political climate. When I sit in my personal sessions, it's coming up almost in every session. I had a pretty deep one to unpack yesterday. The anxiety that is around the political scene and the climate. How do you navigate stress and anxiety that may come up from the polarization? Sometimes polarization within the home as it relates to the uncertainty of our future in politics.
The first thing that I can say is you need to be aware of your own stress threshold. And when you're oversaturated. So
this is good.
Right. So paying attention
Yes.
to what your threshold is, your body will give you cues. One of my favorite sayings is that your body will manifest what your mind will not acknowledge and your mouth will not speak.
Say that again. Let's slow down and say it one more time for the people in the back.
So one more time for the people in the back. Your body will manifest what your mind will not acknowledge and your mouth will not speak.
So said another way, it's going to show up in your body.
It's going to show up in your body.
Whether you want to accept it or not.
Whether you want to accept it, whether you want to say it, whether you want to say I'm under stress or, girl, I'm good. Everything is good. Oh, I'm not bothered by that. I'm not worried. You can deny it all you want.
But
your body is going to manifest it, and it manifests in a lot of
ways.
Yes,
how is that? How do we see it in our bodies? Let's talk about it.
So we could see it physiologically, such as body aches, headaches, intestinal issues, problems sleeping. Emotionally, we get irritated, we isolate, we're frustrated with everybody and everything. We can't concentrate. We have fluctuating moods. It could show up in our behaviors. We used to have a glass of wine to unwind at night. Now we're drinking the whole bottle.
Or something harder.
Right? It could be something harder. Now I need to, now.
Yeah, now I got to move to something because this is not doing the trick.
Exactly. So, so there are physical ways, there are emotional ways, there are behavioral ways that our body tells us that we need to take a break and slow down. And once we recognize, I call that our body's stress alarm. For me, it's my shoulder. When my shoulder starts to hurt, I'm like, oh, okay, I got tension in my neck that's hurt, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, so I need to do some things to care for myself. And in this climate, given that, as you mentioned, people are saying it's so great to take a break from this all of the political talk and bashing and craziness that's going. I'm just going to call it craziness. That we need to give ourselves permission to take a break, to watch something funny, to turn off, if your social media algorithm is all about the debate and what somebody said, Trump said, and what somebody's bashing Kamala and who Kamala is not, and what she. If that's your entire algorithm, get off social media. Start watching some, little funny dog or cat videos.
Yeah, I was going to say change the algorithm.
Exactly.
How about that? The funny thing is, I actually use social media as a part of my self-care regimen. So at night, I need to tap out of everything.
That's me too.
So I've been in therapy all day. I've been speaking to whomever. I've been doing whatever. So I hop on social media and I do just that. I'm finding funny videos. I'm looking for comedians.
Yes. People falling.
Yes. How about that? How about that? Funniest quirks.
Exactly.
I can't believe you did that.
Yes.
Hairstyles. Come on,
right.
hairstyles.
Right.
Come
right.
on.
Right.
So, I have and those things are in my algorithm.
That's my
algorithm. Social media is not always just the beast. It depends on how you're using it. So I would say, I hear you saying, if the political climate and the stress and anxiety that comes along with the uncertainty of the future is beginning to wear you down. And if you don't know you're worn down, take a cue from your body.
Exactly.
Take a cue from your body. Then you need to either get off, tap out, or change the content that you're taking in.
Exactly.
That you're actually bringing in through whatever lens you allow things to enter your whole psyche. So it does make a difference. The mind and the body work together.
Yes.
You cannot separate the two.
No, you cannot.
It's very, very true.
Yes.
It's very, very true.
Yes.
Even and more so during big life transitions.
Exactly.
Even more so.
Exactly.
So listen, the phone lines are open. If you want to call in and join this discussion with Dr. Erica and I, you can do that. The number is 1-800-920-1580. Again, it's 1-800-920-1580. We'd love to hear from you, particularly as we get our minds right for this upcoming election. It is a challenge and a feat in and of itself. But there's more. There's more from Dr. Erica and I, and we're going to continue to unpack when we come forward. Hang with me. This is First Things First with Dominique DiPrima.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Finding a path to a meaningful career, one where you're making an impact and making enough money, it can be tough. There's one path, though, that many young adults are landing on that leads them to careers where they can work outdoors, protect our environment, take on climate change, and get paid while they train. It's the California Conservation Corps. You just have to be 18 through 25 years old to enroll, or a U.S. military veteran through age 29, and you have to be a California resident. That's it. There's no education requirement, no employment history needed. Some Corps members need to finish up high school. Others are college grads. But during their 1 year of service, all CCC Corps members can earn the work experience and certifications needed to become a wildland firefighter, forestry technician, install solar, or build trails in our state parks. Learn how you can enroll at ccc.ca.gov. Do this for you. Become the person you want to be through the California Conservation Corps.
When you turn to the Employment Development Department, we'll help you get there. Whether it's support for you and your family while you find a new job, or the resources to focus on your recovery after illness or injury, we can help you move forward. From support while you bond with your newborn, to helping serve your family while your partner serves our country. Your EDD. We'll help you get there. For more information, visit edd.ca.gov.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm-fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
This is the last take for the night. Understand that's kinda late. And I gotta get home to my son, cause he's so special to me. I mean, I gotta see him, I need to breathe him. That's my baby, don't call me crazy. I love the studio, but I love him more. Let me give you what I got, so I woke up in the morning feeling fresh to death. I'm so blessed, yes, yes. I went to sleep stressed, woke up refreshed. I'm so blessed, yes, yes.
Come on,
Water
Jill.
on my face and everything is in its place. Peace of mind, even my grace. I'm so blessed, blessed, yes.
Oh, yes.
My grandma
All right. Happy blessed morning. Happy blessed morning, and it is a blessed morning. It's really, we're all blessed.
Yes.
We're all blessed.
Yes.
It's whether or not you want to acknowledge the blessing or not. That's your choice. You decide. You decide.
Yes.
Welcome forward. Listen, I want to, as we're making these big life transitions, I want to talk to you about how to approach the transitions and maybe some tips on how to navigate through the transitions. But I would like to go to the phone lines.
Okay.
Joining the discussion this morning, I would like to welcome Robin from Temecula to the First Things First with Dominique DiPrima. Good morning, Robin, and thanks for calling.
Good morning, Dr. Sunshine and Dr. Erica. Thank you guys so much this morning for having this conversation.
Oh, wow. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, I just have a comment, and that is, I believe, just putting this in the atmosphere that if the conversation extend deeply to the head of our churches, the Black church, it could heal the body.
Yeah.
You know, from the top down, the oil flows from the top down. And when you think about it, the ideology, the thinking, the principles of whomever is at the helm of the organization, in this case, the church, that theology flows down.
Yeah.
And you will see it in the congregation. Do you agree, Dr. Erica?
I totally agree, and I thank you for making that comment. Actually, for the past 3 years, I received a grant from the Department of Mental Health, and when I wrote the grant, what I said that I was going to do was to go around to churches, Black churches in Supervisorial District 2. LA County is divided into Board of Supervisors districts, but and do workshops on mental health at churches. And so over the past 3 years, we've hit about 25 churches, training pastors, talking to pastors, and also ministry leaders on understanding their own mental wellness journey and the importance of that, and also recognizing it in the congregation and how do you support your congregants when they experience mental health challenges. So
Mhm.
that's really been a passion of mine,
Mhm.
and is really talking to pastors about how are they caring for the whole person,
the entire person. And so, Robin, I think you do make a great point. If we can start at the top, and for the research that I conducted, the goal was to talk to pastors about how open they are. And what I discovered was when your pastor is open to therapy, and when your pastor prioritizes mental health, then it gives permission
Yes.
for everyone else inside of that calling to do the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking my call.
Oh, thank you so much for calling in. And thanks so much for tapping in to First Things
Yes.
First with Dominique DiPrima. So, the hour always goes by fast.
Yes.
They say funny how time flies when you're
Yes.
having fun. My girl
Yes.
Janet said that. So, I guess leave us with something good. You said you'd sprinkle some nuggets. You definitely sprinkled golden sparkles here. When we look at and think about big life transitions, how do you approach big life transitions with your clients? And then I'm going to ask you, or with the people that you encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd like to know, tips to help get through big life transitions.
So the way that I approach it with my clients is normalizing big life transitions.
Normalizing.
Right.
It's a part of the human experience. We're going to transition.
We're going to transition. So let's normalize that this is going to happen, that it will happen at some point. And it is normal. It is not the end of the world. So it's not the end of the world. Realizing and helping them to think back about other transitions, large life transitions that they've navigated, and remembering that you've successfully done this before, because transitions happen in life. So let's look at you've done it before and how you've been able to successfully transition, and can we use some of those same skills and tools in order to help you with this one as well. So normalizing it, looking back, seeing how
reflection,
exactly how you've done it. And then the other thing I would say is also reframe the meaning of the transition. Oh no, we don't know what's going to happen. This could be the end. Let's reframe this and see a transition as an opportunity. And so an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for change, an opportunity to get better, an opportunity to find new experiences. So how do we shift from this gloom and doom pessimism to this faith and belief optimism that things can be better on the other side?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love what you said, because if he did it before, he can do it again. He can do it again.
Yeah.
Hey. So when we find ourselves dealing with a lot of angst,
Yes.
and a lot of the angst comes from the not knowing, the
Yes.
fear of the unknown.
Yes.
I love what you said. Just reflect back on the transitions that you've successfully navigated before, the obstacles that you've successfully made your way through, conquered before. And there's the faith that you can stand on, that is going to be better on the other side. Speaking of
Yes.
big transitions, it is time for us to transition, you and I.
Yes.
Listen, Dr. Holmes, it is always a pleasure to be in not only the acquaintance, but the company and the knowledge of you. Thank you so much for rolling through so early in the morning.
Yes, it's early, Lord, but I appreciate it. Anytime I get the call and I'm available, I will be here. I am most definitely a pom-pom pumper for KBLA,
You know
and
what?
being in here with you.
I'm gonna hold you to that,
Yes.
because if you can join me at 6, then 8 o'clock is a breeze. I'm gonna have you back on Sunday morning for the Dr. Sunshine Show, another therapist roundtable. We can unpack a lot.
I love it.
Obviously in an hour.
Yeah.
So one more time, thanks again for rolling through, and I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you for having me.
Amen.
All right.
All right. Thanks so much. And thanks to all of you. We are going to keep this train going. Coming up next, we're talking about reentry. We're talking about justice. social justice in the criminal system here in America. Does it work for us? Does it work for us or no? Let's explore and unpack when we come forward.
All
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from your source for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network. The Federal Reserve is leaving interest rates unchanged. The Fed held its July meeting on Wednesday and said in a statement that a reduction in our policy rate could be on the table as soon as the next meeting in September. Vice President Kamala Harris says Americans deserve better after Donald Trump raised doubts about her racial identity in an interview with the National Association of Black Journalists. He said Harris was always of Indian heritage, then later became a black person. Host nation France has closed the gap in the medal count standings at the Paris Olympics. The U.S. added 4 more medals on Wednesday and continues to sit atop the leaderboard with 30 medals. That total includes 5 gold, 13 silver, and 12 bronze. France is now just 4 behind with 26 total medals. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Island on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.